He lifted his daughter from the back seat to help her retrieve something she dropped, but while waiting, as his daughter wandered around, she suddenly spotted a stray dog. The dog didn't bark but slowly approached the girl. Terrified, his daughter kept backing away until she reached the edge. Only then did her father hear her cries for help. Turning around, Ray panicked too. He urgently told his daughter to stay put and moved closer to distract the dog, but his daughter was still terrified at the edge of the steps.
Don't move, don't move.
After a few minutes, Ray opened his eyes. Not only had he failed to grab his daughter, he nearly died. Just then, his wife emerged from the store. Hearing the commotion, she hurried downstairs, battling a fierce headache. Ray slowly stood up. Seeing his daughter and wife motionless, Ray couldn't utter a word. He shoved his wife aside and turned away, unable to bear the sight of her collapse. Hearing his daughter's voice, Ray snapped his head back. This momentarily threw him into disarray. The couple rushed to check their daughter's injuries. Finding only a broken arm, Ray immediately scooped up his daughter and headed for the hospital. He drove at breakneck speed the entire way. Instead of urging him to drive safely, his wife kept urging him to go faster. Fortunately, Ray arrived safely at the hospital. Though it was a small hospital, it was surprisingly crowded with patients. Ray had his wife sit down with their child while he went to register, but the front desk refused to let him cut in line. Ray had no choice but to return to the waiting area. Soon, someone called Ray's name. Strangely, it wasn't a doctor who greeted him, but a registration clerk who asked some bizarre questions.
Would you like Perry listed for organ donation? No.
The clerk then asked Ray's blood type. Before declaring his insurance was invalid, he immediately offered to pay cash. After this lengthy ordeal, a nurse finally came to escort them to a ward. Once his daughter was settled on the hospital bed, the attending physician slowly approached. He performed a basic examination on the little girl, but he seemed odd. Ray kept saying her arm was broken, yet the doctor kept examining her eyes. Afterward, he pulled the couple aside. The doctor said the child's pupils weren't dilating normally. To be safe, it would be best to do a scan. After all, she had fallen from a height. If there was bleeding in the brain, the consequences could be very serious. Of course, whether to proceed was ultimately up to the parents. Then the family headed to the elevator. The staff said only one person could accompany her inside, since Ray was also injured. His wife took the child into the elevator. The whole process felt eerily off. Instead of going up, the elevator descended directly underground. Ray couldn't shake a sense of unease. Hours passed like this. Exhausted, Ray slept for an unknown duration. He awoke in the afternoon, feeling slightly dizzy. He washed up in the restroom, then approached the front desk to inquire about his child and wife. He discovered the receptionist had changed. The woman stated that if they were there for a scan, they simply needed to wait. During the wait, Ray noticed the television programs showed nothing but footage of families involved in car accidents. The woman beside him seemed unsettled too. She mentioned seeing Ray sitting there since morning, and claimed this hospital didn't want to save anyone. They wanted patients to die here. Terrifying thoughts began to surface. Ray returned to the front desk. The woman said the doctor hadn't responded to her, and advised Ray to wait a little longer. But Ray insisted firmly that the front desk check for him. However, there was no record of his daughter in the medical files. The paper registration had been replaced with a new one. In other words, both mother and daughter were now missing.